All right, thank you very much for calling me. I appreciate the lead up. My youngest daughter was skiing out in Seattle and suffered a major knee injury with surgery and plates. As a parent, it just cracks you. Like, holy crap. Like,
hard not to notice.
Right, and what I'm seeking is, you people are magical and all that stuff. Let's use source. How do I be a cooperative component here? She's young, she's healthy. People out in Seattle, they just go crash into mountains and, they get hurt rock climbing. It's kind of a badge of honor to go bouncing down cliffs, So now that we live there, or she lives there, join the culture, how do we fix the knee? How do I become a cooperative component? Because as a parent, that just, I shot, a rocket that would, blow up the universe when that happened.
So how do I get into alignment with my own desire, my desire that is stronger than it's ever been? Yeah. So her contrasting experience not only puts something in her vortex, but my relationship to her contrasting experience puts something in my vortex too. So my desire for her well-being is stronger than it's ever been, and I have specific desire for a specific healing of her. Did you hear us earlier when we said that if this time-space reality has the wherewithal to give you a desire, the same time-space reality can deliver the goods. So you acknowledge that your desire is greater than it has ever been. But you also, this is such a wonderful conversation, because you also acknowledge that while your desire is heightened, so is your fear and worry. In other words, the strong knowing what you don't want caused a stronger than ever knowing what you do want. But now both ends of that stick are pretty active. So your question is, how do I lean toward the wellness rather than toward the injury? And
my question is, let's have her knee healthy or superhuman, go better with the steel or whatever, but that's my question, okay?
That isn't your question. You think it's your question, but we're going to explain this to you so you can see the whole thing. So, of course, this happened to her, and you want healing for her. And really, that would be easier for her to accomplish if her parent who's freaked out over it wasn't in the equation. So the question that we want to put to you, because she has a relationship with her inner being. So now let's bring this full circle. You're right when you said the whole thing was sort of crescendoing to this. So hear this, you're really going to like this. So let's say, just for sake of example, we're just repeating back what you said to us. You were alarmed, to say the least.
She's beautiful. She's my daughter, okay?
We get it.
Don't
explain it to us. We get it. So you're going to really like this, so just hang in here for a minute. This experience that she had just freaked you out. As a parent, it is natural that
broke my heart.
It's natural that it would. You also put big-time desire over here in your vortex. So we have two questions for you. First question is, let's say you're a freaked out parent, and she has an inner being who knows about her healing, who is guiding it, who expects it. Do you want her to be under the influence of her inner being or under the influence of her freaked out parent?
Well,
wait. It's a simple answer. Do you want her to be under the influence of her inner being or her freaked out parent? We know it's obvious,
but inner being too. Okay, and my
don't get ahead. We're leading this.
All right, her inner being.
Don't get ahead of this. You want her to be under the influence of her inner being, not her freaked out parent. All right.
Correct.
So her freaked out parent has an inner being too.
Yes.
Does you, the freaked out parent, want to be under the influence of your inner being?
Yes.
Or under the influence of her injury?
The inner being.
So let's say that you have distance as your advantage, and you have other things to think about. You've been practicing this for a while, and even though this may be one of the harder things ever, you find alignment by focusing on other things that are satisfying. So you stay mostly in alignment with your inner being. Now, let's say She doesn't know much about it. Let's say that since she's the one that's in pain, let's say it's harder for her to be under the influence of her inner being than usual because she's hurt. She can't hike. She can't do the things she wants to do. Wait, she can't ski. She can't do the things she wants to do. But you have managed, because you're a little more at a distance, you've managed to stay in alignment. So maybe she can't really find perfect access with her inner being, which is your wish, but she can find access with you. Because you're like a satellite dish beaming it in. Your power of influence is there. You don't speak to her when you're freaked out. You only speak to her when you're solid. You feel good about her recovery. You know it's going to be all right. So you are an influence to her alignment. You're not trying to replace her alignment. You're just influencing her alignment. And in the process, you realize more than ever before that without satisfaction, you're no good to her at all. You can't let her injury be the reason that you feel the way you do. You got to be unconditional in your love and positive expectation about her. You can't be conditional.
So you have to be like Jesus. Like Jesus could influence it. Jesus could, if Jesus was here, Jesus could fix it.
But Jesus said, go forth and tell no one. Because he knew that he could only influence it for this moment in time. He knew that he could dominate the environment by his knowing, but he knew that no matter how much recovery had happened, that you might go back to your old way of thinking and probably would. That's the part of the story nobody really talks about. Most people revert back to what they were doing before.
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Yeah, you actually were.
It's all irrelevant now, isn't it? So.
We know it's hard for a person who's injured.
I'd rather have the solution where it's fixed. I just want the best for my daughter.
Everybody does.
You know, I don't care whether it's Jesus or whoever. You know, step up, like whoever it is. I don't care.
Well, we got to tell you, Source has stepped up all the time. Source is on it every moment of every day. But Source, with all of his stepped upness, cannot penetrate your resistance or anyone else's. If that were the case, there would never be illness. There would never be anything that would ever be hurtful to anyone. Because Source knows what you want and is flowing that and only that and only that.
Well,
but there's another step to the equation. Source is doing step 2. That's as stepped up as it gets. Source is stepping up. But you've got to find a way of letting in what you're asking for. And you make such a good point. The injury and the power of the pain of now keeps most people from getting into the place where they allow. But sometimes, once you understand that there's a step 1 and there's a step 2 and there's a step 3, that after you've had a step 1 moment, you focus on the step 3. The way you step up is you find satisfying thoughts about your daughter, or you don't think about her, period.
Okay.
You find satisfying thoughts, or you don't think about her. And you don't even have to think your satisfying thoughts about her. They can be about other things that you feel satisfied about. They can be satisfying thoughts about Jesus. They can be satisfying thoughts about all of that.
Yeah, I needed Source's view on it because I'm not.
We know.
I'm cool. I just need your answer.
We know.
So that I can try to use that.
You said one of the most important things that's ever been said in this forum or this platform. You said, I want Source to step up. And it gave us the opportunity to say to you, that's what we've been telling you all along. Source has stepped up. Source has stepped up. But you have to find a way of letting the vibration of that in. That's the trauma and the drama of humandom.
It's for real, man.
Is that through the contrast, you create the improvement and the evolution. But the now reality is too emphatic in your life. And what's on your mind, more than recovery, is the injury. And it's logical that it would be. We're not casting any blame. It's logical. What's on your mind is the injury rather than the recovery. What's on Source's mind is the recovery. And so for you to find satisfaction, you got to either not think about that, or you've got to think about the recovery. It is that easy. It is that easy. When you think about a physician, let's say that you have something going on, and a physician walks into the room and looks at you and goes, "Oh my God!" Not reassuring. Not reassuring. You'd much rather him say, it's all right, this is where you are, we're going to move you over here. People like you who care so much about someone, you're more important than the physician. So you don't want to go in and go, oh my God. You want to go in and go, yeah, you've had a step one moment, and you're going to be better for it. And you said something like bionic or even better than ever before, in other words.
Right, or superhuman, or what, is she going to push evolution, or what are we doing here? You know, like, if she's a super creator, I'm cool with it, okay, just do it, but then just morph, okay, and I'll be cool with it.
That's why we said that you're not really asking what you think you're asking, because what we want you to be aware of is that you don't want to live this conditional life where she needs to heal in order for you to be all right. You want to live this aligned life where you're willing and able to allow her to have the experience that she has, and that you can feel satisfaction in what she chooses. And of course, we're not asking you to choose that she be crippled. We're not asking you to choose anything that she wouldn't choose, because we know what she put in her vortex too. And we fully expect that what's in her vortex as a result of that will be what she gets. We just want her to have a comfortable unfolding to that. And most of all, since you're right here, we want you to have a comfortable unfolding with that. And you've emphasized so many things that this gathering has all been about. Now reality is what prevents you from allowing things to improve. Period. And if now reality sucks, and that one does for a minute, and that's what's got your undivided attention, then you can't influence improvement, and you're better off far away. But
well, she is back. She's a healthy. She has a high pain tolerance, like it's crazy. She's just.
We're not encouraging that. We are encouraging such a sensitivity that you want satisfaction in every moment. Because high pain tolerance is what allows people to think sucky thoughts and not notice.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Can't have it both ways.
I think
you can't have it both
mind
ways.
Over matter. I think you can have that.
Mind over matter?
Yeah, I think you can have that.
Well, that's source stepping up. That's mind over matter.
I
That's
don't know
source stepping up.
Some people can be overly sensitive too. Okay, and she's very cool. Like, I would be writhing in pain, but she's just like, it doesn't feel it. It's just
well, our
weird.
Strong encouragement to you is you just stay away from her for a while.
But she's back. She's going home soon. I've been cool, but I so appreciate that, your answer, and I will. That's all I wanted.
Really good.
Thank you so much.
Really good. Yeah, really good.